if you are searching for a sunscreen, it's my job that when you search sunscreen, my product is visible there. We had multiple assignments for the same thing that I had to execute there. It was execution that I had learned there, but everything about data, how metrics work, we had done it at Altera.
I think for me, able to handle stress, able to do a lot of things at the same time, that I learned from Altera.
I wanted to go into product management because it is related to tech, but when I came here, I wanted to explore other fields as well. And hence, I am really happy working as a performance marketing.
If you had to describe your job in a tagline, what would that be?
Handling chaos.
We are the money mafia.
The money mafia.
Yeah.
You have to explain that, Jagdeep, so that there are no confusions about what you do at Honasa. Hello everybody, I'm Alik Tripathi, the co-founder and a mentor here at the Altera Institute, and I'm so excited to have some alumni back on campus with me today. Thank you guys for being here. It's always lovely to reconnect, and I'm sure being back here on campus is bringing back some good memories for you guys as well. But more importantly, I'm very excited to hear about your work stories. But before we get into that, maybe we could do a quick introduction for the audience, starting with you, Jagdeep.
Sure. Hi guys, I am Japjit Singh Sahni. I was part of founding batch of Altera's PGP in Applied Marketing. I am currently working at Honasa as a performance marketing manager.
Hi, I'm Paras. I work as a key account manager at Honasa, and my main responsibility is to grow Honasa brands in marketplaces.
Right, it makes it very surreal to be hearing some of those job titles that you guys have now. But maybe we could break it down, right? So obviously they sound very fancy.
Sure.
But what does a day in your life look like? Maybe Paras, we could start from you. So what does it mean to be an account manager at Honasa?
So basically, it's being responsible for the sales growth on the platform level. And what that involves is 4 levers, which is assortment, visibility, availability, and pricing. So looking after the discounts, activating certain visibility assets on the platform to increase the SOV, to increase basically the user level share of voice. And most of the time it's actually as a CAM, you get to see the results after a month, after a week, unlike performance. So so basically it's doing the grunt work on a day-to-day level, and you see the results after a week or after a month.
Right. So essentially, if I have to break it down for our audience, maybe who doesn't understand e-commerce roles that well, whatever Honasa's products, which is Mamaearth, Dermaco, Aqualogica, Dr. Sheth's, etc., are visible when you're browsing on e-commerce platforms. It's your job to sort of decide the discounts and decide which products go on which platform.
Absolutely.
What about you, Japjit? What does your day look like?
So, performance marketing team at Honasa is the people who actually have the money. So we are the people who are controlling money, trying to optimize our bids so that we can get the best possible results for the company at the lowest possible cost. So what my day looks like is basically optimizing bids on a daily basis. For a layman, if you are searching for a sunscreen, it's my job that when you search sunscreen, my product is visible there. And also I have to make sure that the bids are low so that we reach to the consumer at the most efficient way.
I think that's very well explained. But tell me, this sounds very difficult to do for somebody who's not done it. So and Japjit, you of course were a fresher. You did not have full-time work experience before this job. So if you had to think about what are the skills that helped you on day one, and what did it feel like in terms of starting this job out?
I think this role is quite overwhelming because there are a lot of things that you need to do on a daily basis, and the expectations are really high. So what really helped me was first of all data analysis, understanding how the metrics move, which particular metric is affecting others, and also it's not always about metrics. 70% of our job is execution. Only 30% involves creating the strategy. So day in and day out, we are just optimizing the campaigns, understanding how we are performing a particular keyword in a particular category. That is what our key job here is.
What about you, Paras? For somebody to be a great account manager, what do you think are the skills that now in hindsight is mandatory?
I think in terms of hard skills, of course, analysis, data analysis, doing RCAs, and being able to maintain like assortment availability, doing good enough pricing on the platform. In terms of soft skills, I think managing like relationship with the POC of that platform is very important, especially like for some platforms where you don't get data from them.
Yeah.
So to get that data even verbally from the person, you have to maintain that relationship, do some trade-offs.
Right. I think early on in your career, having a role that requires a fair bit of negotiation, representing Honasa in front of the retailers, I think that must be a bit of the challenging part.
Yeah, it's absolutely challenging. And I think bit about the role is also it's handling a lot of chaos. Basically, you're doing so much context switching. You're going from discounts, visibility, then looking after the supply chain availability. So that also comes into the place whenever you're doing a account manager job.
Right. And if you had to think about a moment during your PGP journey here at the Altera Institute that came back to you when you were doing the job, maybe in a good way saying that oh, I was prepared for this, or maybe in a bad way saying that I wish I'd worked harder, what might that be?
I think most of it was when we were creating the plans for the next month. I think that most of the people who joined our team at that particular time, they did not understand how these particular metrics move. So I think our classes and assignments were really helpful in that because we had created those plans in class as assignments. So I personally made certain mistakes at that time. So I was really happy that I made those mistakes because while I was applying it at the real job, I was aware that I do not have to make these mistakes.
What about you, Paras? Obviously, account management is a more broad field. In Japjit's case, I'm assuming the e-retail media course, of course, was directly relevant to the job that he's doing. For account management, is there anything from the program that came back to you while you were in the job?
I think for me, it was mainly like doing RCA. So whenever doing strategy work, seeing where the sales are going down and then doing an RCA on them, that was something that came back to me, like doing RCA is absolutely necessary. And of course, it also involves doing both strategy and operational work. So operational work, of course, I had to learn there as well, but RCA was something that I had to do.
Right.
Yeah.
And you guys have sort of a unique experience because obviously you have batchmates that are now your colleagues. In some cases that are now your counterparts on the retailer side or on the e-commerce enabler side, right? How is it like having your friends and batchmates as colleagues?
I think it's a great experience. First of all, because one of the batchmate is in my team only. There is healthy competition there with respect to accounts and how things are moving, but there is a fair share of learning as well. Because when I joined the company, he was already there working at Honasa. He helped me understand how things move at a particular platform. So I think no one would have given that particular attention at that particular time. But I think it was really important for me and really helpful for me at that particular time. Also, one of our batchmate works at Blinkit.
Yeah.
So I think that seeing what they are doing, understanding different platforms is way easier now. Because though I might not be doing it at this point in time, but maybe it will help me in the future if I want to maybe look at 2 to 3 platforms at a particular time.
What about you, Paras?
I think my experience was also similar to Japjit because I also had a batchmate working in my team only when I joined. So it created like a supportive environment basically. Whenever I had to ask for something, ask for help in anything, she was there to help me, just to guide me in whatever I don't know. And just to feel like feel alone, basically, to have someone there for you who has been there for you for like 1 year and then it's still here at Honasa. So that was
we're super proud of you guys who are working in different roles in different organizations within the digital first ecosystem. And I'm very happy to hear that the network and the supportive environment is still active. But I'm sure you had fonder memories that when you were here on campus. Now that you're working, you might have lesser fun, I hope. But if you had to, Paras, maybe think about a fond memory that you have from back on campus, something that you look back at, what might that be?
I think a fond memory I would say would be when I was completing my live project
This was with Bombay Shaving
Yeah,
Company.
Bombay Shaving Company. So, like staying, I think me and Anshul were here till around 2 a.m. just creating that PPT, just doing the end work,
Yeah.
end work that we had to do. So, doing it together, staying up late till 2 a.m. that creates a lot of bonding.
Yeah.
So that was one of the fond memories I had.
What about you, Japjit?
I think it was, for me, it was the placement prep, because though it felt that it's very difficult at that particular time, but now looking back, I think that it was really important and one of the best memories, because we stayed here till 11 to 12 p.m., 11 to 12 a.m., understanding how we can do better. Like even mock interviews would go on till 11 p.m. So even the mentors were here. They did not go home. They tried to help us in every possible way. And now looking back, I think that they were the ones putting way more effort than us. And it has really helped us.
Yeah,
all of us.
I can vouch for that, for the effort that the mentors were putting in. But I must admit, it makes me super happy to just observe that the memories that you remember fondly are those of working hard, and hopefully that's prepared you for your roles here. What we'll do now is I have a series of questions that I'm sure the audience is super interested to know.
Okay.
And you will not have a lot of time to think about it. So we'll
Okay.
do this in the rapid fire format. Either of you can speak the answers as they come to you.
Okay.
Works?
Sure.
So question 1, which was your favorite course at Altera?
Marketing
Business
management.
communication.
So marketing management and business communication. All right. And both favorite courses. Business communication, of course, is something that I think everybody uses in practice. Marketing, of course, in your roles, working at a consumer company and a leading consumer company becomes very, very important. What has been the proudest moment for you at work?
I recently received an ACE award for this quarter's performance. So I think only 2 out of the entire online revenue got this award. So I'm really proud of that.
Wonderful. Paras, what about you?
For me, it would be like actually seeing the activation that I've aligned, seeing them on the platform itself, because you have to do all the work in in the previous weeks, and then you get to see them after in the next month. So actually seeing them happen and seeing the results, that was like a proudest moment.
Question 3. Who's your favorite mentor at Altera?
Sanmeet.
Alec.
You're not allowed to say that. You have to name somebody else.
Bhomik.
Super. If you had to give an exam today, which course are you most confident of passing?
Content strategy.
Business communication.
And you know the next question, which course are you least confident of passing if I give you the exam today?
Business finance.
Business finance.
Business finance. I think finance was a pain point. But I'm sure you'll agree that the commercial acumen is very important in your jobs, because I think in both of your cases, very important to keep an eye on the spends. In your case, marketing spends. In your case, discount spends. So while it's really painful, I'm sure that it's working.
Really important.
It's working well. If you had to describe your job in a tagline, what would that be?
Handling chaos.
Handling chaos. Lovely.
We are the money mafia.
The money mafia.
Yeah.
You have to explain that, Japjit, so that there are no confusions about what you do at Khulasa.
We are the people with the actual spends. We are the ones deciding where to spend, how to spend it, and we are the people who are taking decisions if we even want to spend on a particular subcategory or not.
One of the questions that prospective students always ask us is how much prior background matters, right? Now, both of you happen to be engineers. This perception is there that engineers, can't do creative fields or creative jobs, and we should stick to either tech or maybe finance because it's related to maths, etc. Given that you guys enrolled for a program specializing in applied marketing, what did you think in terms of how your engineering background helped, or was it irrelevant? I'm sure our audience is very keen to understand. Maybe you could start with you, Japjit.
Sure. I think the engineering background helped me with engineering is already, it provides, there is a rigor in the program. But I think that when I came to Altera, I came with an open mind. I wanted to learn. I just did not want to go into tech. I wanted to be open to content strategy, how marketing communication works, and how in general marketing works. So I think anyone who would be coming to the program should come with an open mind. And also I think there's a very great chance that there will be a change in perspective when they come here. If I take my example, I wanted to go into product management because it is related to tech. But when I came here, I understood that it's not important to go into a field that is related to tech, but I wanted to explore other fields as well. And hence, I think I am really happy working as a performance marketing manager.
Right. What about you, Paras? Of course, you had some experience in freelance within the field of marketing, even after doing engineering. But how do you see that transition and how relevant your undergraduate education has been in this journey?
I think it hasn't been that relevant in terms of like marketing field. The only thing I would say to the audience is that the only thing, the learning curve that you will have from pivoting to engineering to marketing, that can be a bit longer, but then by like 5 to 6 months into the course, you'll be able to match other people's understanding and perspective.
Right. That's something I think very insightful, Paras, that I always tell people who have this question, because there are a lot of engineers who feel that we can do only data or product management. There are people from say BBA backgrounds that feel that we can't do math too much, or English honors we feel that we can't do math too much. And I always tell them that look, your background is not going to hold you back, but you need to be prepared to learn new things, right? If you're from an arts background, it doesn't hold you back, but then you need to be prepared to be a little uncomfortable when you're learning about data and math, because that is not optional. I'm sure you'll agree that everybody has your comments about finance and the course justify that it was one of the toughest courses that you had, but it was important to have that, to have the commercial acumen that you guys have today. A very unique thing about your career trajectories is also that as freshers, you've gone into very high impact roles where you're directly impacting revenue. Now, as a result, I'm sure it comes with its own set of stress, its pressure, maybe fear, anxiety. It's a very high impact role, right? Also, the positive joy when you see business results get delivered, when you see your activation live on the platform. As a fresher, did you feel equipped on day one to take on those responsibilities versus, say, somebody who had work experience?
I personally feel that I was equipped for that particular job because we were doing what I'm currently doing in my job. We were doing it on a daily basis at Altera. We had multiple assignments for the same thing that I had to execute there. The only thing I feel was it was execution that I had learned there, but everything about data, how metrics work, we had done it at Altera.
What about you, Paras?
I think for me, like able to like handle stress, able to do a lot of things at the same time, that I learned from Altera, which I could apply there as well at Honasa. And all the strategy work that we did, some of it we actually learned here, that was able to apply there. So I would say 60% I was ready to take on there, but the rest was with the help of course, my team members, my manager. They were able to like bridge that gap so the learning curve was much far less in compared to other people who didn't have the education at Altera.
And if you had to be honest, were you working harder during the program or are you working harder now?
I think I was working harder during the program.
What about you, Paras?
I think I work harder at the job than I did at the program.
Maybe you have to work harder at the job because you were not working hard enough during the program. But jokes apart, I think it's very important for people to understand that B school is going to be extremely rigorous. Like you're saying, you guys have really rigorous jobs, but even then the program is comparable. In your case, it's more rigorous than what you're doing. And that's really meant to prepare you, right? Prepare you for what's out there so that you're able to do these jobs. It's been under a year for both of y'all, but the way that you guys have integrated into the companies, the way that you're delivering impact, the way that you're able to meaningfully add value to a really large and growing company, I think makes me super proud and happy to see you guys like this. If you guys had one piece of advice for people who are looking to join Altera, what would that be? Paras, maybe you could start with.
I think you need to be able to handle like uncomfortable situations, basically learning what you don't know. That needs to be like a a mindset you need to have, or you need to shift it when you're coming here. So that would be my one piece of advice.
I think that's very powerful.
I feel that anyone who is coming into the program should come with an open mind, because there will be endless opportunities that would be coming to them. If they have a specific goal of going into product management, I think that won't help them in the long run. And also, I think anyone who is coming to the program should seek discomfort, because that is what will help them in the long run.
Right. And I think that's a very impactful point, because if I just reflect on your life projects that you were doing as a part of the program, Japjit, you had a life project in product management, which is a field that you wanted to pursue. You did that, you delivered impact for a young, early stage growing startup in the e-commerce domain. But you realized after that that there are other fields that might interest you as well. Paras, you were working on content for Bombay Shaving Company for their YouTube handle. And now you're in a role which is much closer to business, a bit away from content. And I think that's the beauty, right? Which is you get to explore different fields, and you have to be open to opportunities, because both of the opportunities that you guys have gotten, I feel, are really high growth opportunities at a company that's doing very well. And if you weren't open to these opportunities, maybe things would have been very, very different, right? Thank you once again for being here, guys. I really appreciate you taking the time out. It's been lovely reconnecting, and I will see you soon again. And I'm going to repeat myself, but it makes me super proud to see and hear from you and the kind of impact that you're delivering. And I'm very, very confident that you guys are going to do very well in your career. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alec.
Thank you.